Dear investors and fans of the holy space called magic, internet money, I am here to tell you that we're gonna have an explosive summer. And in today's video, we're gonna talk about Bitcoin's price action going into the end of this month, June, and the start of July, because this time frame represents a big pivot in the history of Bitcoin. Also, we're going to check the seasonality. This is a post from March when Bitcoin continued the drop, and after we complete the discussion about Bitcoin, we're going to jump into the altcoin charts because they honestly look all the same. It doesn't matter what you're holding, but first let's jump in. So this post right here from Twitter is from March 12 this year, but it's actually an updated post from February stating a fact in Bitcoin's history, which is this one: bearish start of March, bullish continuation, bullish start of March, bearish continuation. And you can see on this chart here, and you can also go check all the cycles. If you're like me, if you don't have a social life, you can go and check all Bitcoin cycles, this time period between January and March, in every year possible. You can see from 2021, we had a bottom in January 18 and the local top into March 8 and continuing into April. You're gonna see the similar setup but going down this cycle this year. But let's not jump ahead. The next year in January, on the 24th, we had the same thing, bullish uptrend that lasted until March 21, and then we had the reverse going into May and June. Next year we had the local top in January 23, and the bottom came in something like before March 21, going into next year, meaning 2024. You can see that there is pretty much the same dates, just like living in a simulation. We had the 22nd of January, local bottom, everyone calling for tops here, and we had the March 11 local top and then going down and changing the trend. So this year we had it differently. We had a local top on January 20, and on the time window in March from 12 to 21st, we had the dump to, let's see, March 11 to 76k. But this is what I said, that this looks like the reverse of 2021. We had the bullish structure with a local bottom in January, a local top in March 11, but was prolonged into April 10. So this year for us, you can see how the simulation is playing us. Local bottom in March 11, then a prolonged bottom into April 7. So as I was mentioning in this post right here, the next phase after this bottom occurred and happened into April, the next phase of the cycle was up based on Bitcoin's seasonality. Now, another interesting thing, and going into the second part of this clip, is the June pivot. Going again into Bitcoin's history, we can check how every end of June and start of July is marked by a local bottom or a local top. This one last year was a local bottom. Let's put it here. So something like June 30, going into the first week of July, local bottom here, weakness over the summer, because that is the discussion next. Let's put on the end of June and start of July in our cycle, and I will explain to you my theory. This local bottom here was not the actual bottom of this range. We had another bottom and another bottom in September, and then we started to go up again. So basically it was a boring summer. Going back into 2023, we had the June and start of July. You can see here this was a local top, and the continuation was a boring summer until October. So this one was a local bottom, this one was a local top, boring summer after that. Going again, you can see in 2022, in the bear market, we had at the start of July also a local bottom. We rallied to 25k from 18k, but again, boring summer and the ultimate bottom in the bear market. Now we're going to 2021. This is actually the bull market year, or the year after the halving year, and this one marks something like a local bottom. Again, this is not exact science, it is a range. And from July 21 going into August and the start of September, we had an 80% rally, and also by November we had 130% gains in Bitcoin. Just like explaining right now, if we have a local bottom in the year of the bull market, which is also the year after the halving year, we should not have a boring summer. And the local bottom here, no matter how it looks like, because it could look like this, or in the event of some liquidation cascades, we can also see this area right here. If it happens really fast, which we know it can happen I want to see what price is given to us by the market here, because this is the window where I place my last orders, because I do not think that we have a boring summer until November. Let me explain why. 2024, it was a boring summer until October. 2023, it was a boring summer until October. Didn't matter if this was a local top and this was a local bottom. The summer was boring. Again here, 2022, same thing. But going into 2021, which you will see that is similar to 2017 and similar to 2013, same time over and over again, the year after the halving year, we never had a boring summer. So the boring summer in 2021 ended by July 15, and we had rallies from 29k to 69k, which is something like saying Bitcoin can do something like this in the year after the halving year and double in price. But let's not get over our heads with this. Let's go to the June pivot every time. We had the 2020 start of July. You can see a local bottom, but actually it was boring again until October. 2019, you already know, we had a local top here, June 24 into July start, and we had the boring summer. Next one, the 2018 bear market year, end of June, start of July, local bottom, then again a boring summer, and the last bottom just like 2022. Now we're going to 2017. Let's see the bull market year after the halving year, and you can see how the start of July, something very similar to 2021, exactly on the 15th of July, we had a local bottom and the last bottom, and the summer was explosive until September. Bitcoin did, let's see, 174% gain. So it was not a boring summer. Again, let's check the other year, the 2016. Here we actually had the halving, and again the local top, which meant boring summer until at least November. Let's check again. End of June going into the start of July, local top, again boring summer until October, maybe November. Going further again, we have the start of July. You understand the drill. Local top, bear market year going down just like any other bear market. And 2013, end of June, start of July, you can see here the local bottom and the not so boring summer coming after that. Into September, start of September, we had again 113% rally. Not so boring. So again, this one was the bull market year. It was the year after the halving year, which was in 2012. So going into this data, if you ask me, so what is your stance, Christian? What's up with all this seasonality stuff? Just give me the price and get the fuck out. Well, if you let me explain, given that the data is not changing and the cycles are still a thing, even though each cycle is different from the other, my guess is that 1. In this window of opportunity, which is from June 30 into July 15. So this window of opportunity will give us the exact price, because again, it could happen also something like this, and if it's fast enough, this is my worst case by the way, we can take this major area of demand, but only if this happens very very fast into this window of weakness. If not, my guess is that maybe we see these lows again, maybe we go into the 97, 95k, which will look very juicy to me because we have a clear 1-2, and then the next thing that's coming is the big 3, the 4, and we'll see the 5th. So it doesn't matter to me what the price is, because in my experience and my opinion, time is more important than price in this market, and you take whatever the market gives you. You just need to learn the cycles. So what I'm talking about on this YouTube channel is all based on cycles, and we all have a different view on the cycles. This is mine. And if you want to say, Christian, don't you think that this time is going to be different? Well, another painful lesson for me is that if you invest thinking like this, meaning this time is different and we can have something like this one, and we have the bear market next, based on all of I presented in this YouTube clip until now, is the reason why most people don't make money in the market, because they think that this time is different. So in this window of opportunity, I will see exactly what the market gives me, because if this happens, I will scoop up the last positions on my altcoins. I will not load on Bitcoin because I'm holding Bitcoin for 2 years. Already sold some Bitcoin here and also here. I do not reaccumulate at 3x the price or 5x the price from where I bought most of my Bitcoin. This is what I'm doing also with the altcoins. So let's see how this develops, because I really think that in this window of weakness, we're gonna put on the last low, and then we will have an explosive summer going into September and start of September, which is the next big pivot. But this is a topic for another YouTube clip. Going into the altcoin charts, I do not post many altcoin charts because I'm guessing that people, mostly on Twitter, just want a target price, just want a beautiful entry and exit. They do not really want to hear you analyze a chart. But I promised I get into some altcoin charts, and starting with the XRP. This is a coin I hate very much, but I learned to be unbiased when analyzing a chart, not a coin specifically. And this chart is from, let's see, this post from December 2nd. Last year we were on a pump, and I said I think this area right here should be corrective, but it would not be bearish. It would still look for me very bullish going into the 7, 8, maybe $10. And you can see the XRP chart, how it's looking from December. Retesting this thing right here is very bullish for me. I have other exposure, so I didn't need to buy this coin. But just to understand how I view also the altcoins, basing on my Bitcoin thesis first. So if this is truly what's going on for XRP next, after this chop right here, going into July, you can almost smell the gunpowder from the explosion that I'm expecting this summer. And there are many charts that look based for me. This is the IOTA chart. It's actually an ISO compliant coin. This an XRP also, or the CVX chart, which is on the DeFi niche. Also the CRV chart, because narratives that I'm expecting since 2024 to arrive, and they have arrived indeed, are what you hear from the US right now, firing Gary Gensler and removing some friction and regulation from the crypto space. So these are my safest bets for now. Maybe you like Aave, maybe you like AVAX, maybe you like, I don't know, Filecoin, maybe you like Chainlink. Chainlink is also a safe bet for me. And maybe you should watch my altcoin season clip, which is this one, made something like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you can see all you have on this channel is 4 clips, and we're doing the 5th right now. So I'm asking you just to understand my positioning in this market and maybe steal some strategies, maybe some tips, something like this. You need to go see all these videos, and you will understand also my positioning on altcoin charts, because some of them are leaders like Chainlink, like XRP. You can see we had an accumulation here and it is leading right now, and others like Litecoin, you can see the accumulation here, are lagging. Like the IOTA chart is also lagging. This is an accumulation, and I have my targets way higher than this. If I want to make a strong bet, if we are here this summer, I'm prepared to sell a big chunk, but for this one in particular, I'm also ready for new all-time highs. Don't ask why you're not ready. For more charts like this and in-depth analysis and market updates, going into detail on how I watch also the stock market and how I correlate with the XY, with the rates, with also the yields, which are important. Well, you can also check my track record. These are big swings on Bitcoin. This one also, this was the actual bottom, as all of Twitter were calling for a lower here, and the local top and dump into the halving, which came in April. I was one of the few that presented the big pivot that I'm actually expecting this time around in June. Another one was this. You can also check the charting from back then. Everyone in the summer of 24 was calling for this being the top. I again was one of the few that presented the big pivot that was coming into year end. So if you need more of these in-depth market updates, check out our website in the description, check out my track record. But I also need to mention here, if you did not learn by yourself to make money in the market, I do not recommend paying for anything from anyone. So this is my only paid service, because I'm doing the work for the members, because I'm not shilling projects there, I'm not shilling low caps, I'm not shilling, affiliate links. I'm just working for the members to deliver the best market update that I can every week of every month. And I only recommend it if you learned how to make money in the market. Otherwise, you should not pay for any service from anyone unless you are profitable first and you want to level up your skill. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you got something out of this clip today. Smash the subscribe button if you want to be here for the next one. And other than that, have a great start of the week. See you later. Bye.